Welcome to Dice Control Dojo. I'm Phil, and I practice every day, and I share some tips on practicing so we can all do better at the craps table. Today we're talking about our series on throwing practicing, and this is called the turn. So I call it the turn. I don't know what it's really called in real life, but I broke this down to the turn. And what do I call the turn? As we discussed in previous videos, check it out about the grip, right? So you're going to make sure you're gripping. The grip is a constant work. The grip is the most important thing I think that we have. So we practiced on our first series of the throw practice is how to pick up the dice and make sure that they're even, they're all set. You practice that, get that down to a science. Now it's the turn. So every morning I practice this turn 10 times, and I start at the beginning. So every day when I'm practicing this turn, I'm setting just like I'm doing everything right up until the turn. Grabbing the dice, getting it together, and then putting it into the turn. So it's this turn over. And why is this important? Because no matter what you're throwing, no matter what grip you're using, where you are on the table, the turn sometimes is missed if you don't do it the same way each time, right? So say I go grab the dice and then I move it like this, right? So things can happen when you're not doing it the same way. Your dice, if you're just gripping them, or if they send the dice over and you grab it and now you're trying to pick it up and you're nervous and you're not moving it over in a smooth manner, your dice can be off a little bit, right? They could be offset. They might not stay tight. You're twisting your arm, so you're essentially making sure that these dice stay in the same way they do when you convert over. If you sit here with me and you are watching this, if you have some dice and you pick them up, right, and you go to convert it over, you can feel the dice. Remember, you're picking them up like this, and you're got about 50-50 distribution with your fingers, right? There's 50% here, 50% here with your thumb. It's the only way you can pick it up, right? You're picking it up nice and soft, like we talked about, relaxed, straight wrist. Now, when you go to turn, are you bending your wrist, or is the turn just moving in an angle? And your dice, remember, your dice are coming over like this, and then once it's like even with your face right down looking down, now all the weight of the dice should be on your fingers. Your fingers should be nice and lined up, and when you turn, now the weight distributes down onto the three fingers, and your thumb should be relaxing. So that's where this comes into play, because sometimes people grip so hard when they come over, right? You're still gripping hard. So when you go to let go, your thumb's going to control everything. So the turn is almost as important as the grip. I still say grip's number one, but are you converting your hands over to the situation so that they're aligned? See, I want this turn to come around as swimmingly easy as possible so that it's ready to go, so that my arm is aligned to make that throw. My thumb is working at a nice angle. Everything's got to play into place. So it's kind of like working out a dance move, right? If your people are working on 4 parts to a dance, this is the second part to this dance of dice control. The second part is the turn. So the first is the grip, the second is the turn. So I practice this every day, and what I'm concentrating on is my wrist relaxed? Are my fingers relaxed? When I pick it up,
and I move over like this, I want these dice to line right over my nose, looking straight down at them, and I'm trying to line these up. So in order to do that, your distribution of weight is coming over like this onto those 3 dice, and then your thumb has to relax. So that's the next step to that, which we'll discuss in a future episode on the throw practice, is how do we make sure that this weight is distributed down to the fingers, so all the dice weight is on the fingers, and then your thumb backs off. Doesn't get that 50-50. Now it's like 90% of the weight is on the, and 10% is on the thumb. So we want to make sure that turn is good. So I practice 10 of these. I grab my 10 chips so that I can remember where I am each day. And I go. So I pick up and I convert over. How did that go? That felt good. And then I start over again. So I put the chip down. That's 1. And I'm just starting at the beginning again, picking up the dice. Are they lined? And then convert. Convert. 2. I didn't like that one because I repeated. Come back to it just like you're at the casino. Get your dice ready. Pick them up. Convert. There you go. So every day, I'm making sure that that turn, deliberate practice, right? It's not supposed to be fun. It's pick up and turn. Is everything aligned? Is my dice together? Are my weight distribution changing? So there's a couple more. So I come up. This doesn't take too long, but if you're concentrating on what you're looking at, you know, when you're doing your first 10 and you're just picking up the dice like this, you're concentrating on, are they aligned? Are you picking up the dice with an even weight? Are they sitting nice? Now, when you're doing the turn, are they converting over? Are you distributing your weight down so that the dice don't feel apart? That one, it felt a little bit off. My dice got moved in the middle of my throw, my turn. So I'm going back to it and converting. That was better. They didn't move at all. They stayed aligned. I was a little too tight on that one. I could feel my pressure too tight. So make sure we review what we're doing. You're picking up the dice as light as possible, your fingers together. The turn is just a twist of the bicep, right? It's not your wrist. You're picking it up, converting over with your bicep, and nice and relaxed. So that's how I practice my turn each and every day. It shouldn't take too long, but also too, remember, all of these practices have to be able to concentrate on what you're doing so that at the end of the day, when I sit here and get ready at the casino and I grab my dice, I do my conversions, I'm picking my zone, I'm throwing those dice, look at how nice they came. Nice together, relaxed, and a good throw. And that's what we want for everybody each and every day, to work on being the best that you can. Remember, 10 times practice for the turn. Start at the beginning each time so that when you come into it, you're always doing it from the beginning. And then make sure you're set. All right? Make sure each time you go and you move, it's set. You're distributing your weight to the fingers. Your thumb is a little part. So tomorrow, join us. We're going to talk about that SRR. What is it? Once again, I'm going to get into details on what's an SRR, why do I care, and how does that judge how we're throwing? Or does it judge how we're throwing?
I'll determine that tomorrow. So remember, I'm asking for feedback. If you like this session, please let me know. If you need more specifics, email me or send me a comment, and I'll try and do a little short to kind of get into detail. And remember, I don't talk about betting strategies because there are 100 videos out there. So you know what I've been saying. The best strategy is to throw for a long time.